Good morning, entrepreneurs and builders. Welcome to the Breaking Business Podcast, where we don't just talk marketing and entrepreneurship, we dissect it, we challenge it, we extract those golden nuggets that you can actually use every single day. Business is in your blood, and I'm here to make it boil. I'm your host, Dr. Wood. Now let's break it down and build something great. Take a look at this. It's a single pound of lead. It's heavy, dense, and honestly pretty dull. If I took this down to a local scrapyard, what do you think I could get for it? On a good day, maybe 50 cents? Most people would see this and see next to nothing. They see its final stop, the scrap heap. But what if I told you that you're looking at it all wrong? What if this humble 1 pound piece of metal has the potential to be worth many, many times its scrap value? The secret isn't in what it is, but in what it can become. Stick around, because today we're not just melting metal, we're going to follow this single pound of lead as it becomes an essential piece of the industries that power and protect our modern world. Hook. The journey from a forgotten piece of scrap to a critical material is an incredible transformation. Most people only see the end of a product's life. An old car battery, leaky plumbing pipes, leftover construction junk. They just see waste. But hidden in that waste is a resource our entire global infrastructure depends on. The story of this 1 pound of lead is about seeing potential where others only see trash. And that story starts by turning up the heat. Section 1. The humble beginning. This specific piece of lead is a mix of old wheel weights and roof flashing. It's dirty, oxidized, and not much to look at. This is lead in its raw post-consumer form. At the scrapyard, you're paid for the base metal weight, and that's it. Today, scrap lead prices are hovering around 30 to 58 cents a pound, depending on your location and how clean it is. For most people, that's the end of the story. A few quarters for some heavy junk, but that scrap price is just the very first step on a long ladder of value. To start climbing, we have to purify it. This chunk of metal isn't just lead. It's full of steel clips, dirt, zinc, and other junk that has to go. Right now, it's useless for any serious application. It's too impure and unpredictable. To unlock its real value, we have to take it from a chaotic mess to a state of pure, refined potential. And that starts in the crucible. Of course, this process demands respect and, above all, safety. Working with lead means serious precautions. A proper respirator, heat-resistant gloves, and full eye protection are non-negotiable. The fumes are toxic and the temperatures are extremely high. Section 2. The transformation. This is where the magic really happens. We place our pound of scrap lead into a steel crucible and start applying heat. Lead has a relatively low melting point for a metal, around 621 degrees Fahrenheit or 327 Celsius. As the temperature rises, you see this slow, almost reluctant change. The hard gray chunks start to slump and soften until they finally surrender to the heat and pool into a shimmering liquid mirror. But it's not a clean mirror just yet. As the lead melts, a layer of filth, called dross, floats to the surface. This is all the junk we don't want. Dirt, paint, oxidation, and other metals that don't melt as easily. Using a steel spoon, we carefully skim this gunk off the top. It's a satisfying process, like wiping a dirty window clean. With every skim, the surface of the molten lead gets brighter and more reflective. Once the obvious junk is gone, we add something called flux. Flux is just a cleaning agent that helps pull the remaining impurities out of the lead. As we stir it in, you can see it grabbing all the tiny suspended particles and pulling them up into the dross. After one last skim, what's left in the crucible is no longer scrap. It's a pound of nearly pure liquid lead glowing with heat. The final step is to give it a new form. We carefully pour the molten lead into ingot molds. The liquid metal flows like thick silver water, filling every corner before it starts to cool. As it hardens, it turns from a bright, reflective silver back to a duller gray, but this time it's different. It's clean, it's uniform, it's ready. We've taken a piece of junk and turned it into a clean standard ingot. It already looks more valuable, and it is. Clean lead fetches a higher price than dirty scrap. But the real jump in value doesn't come from this new shape. It comes from where this ingot can go next. Section 3, the industrial connection, the real value multiplier. This clean 1 pound ingot is now a raw material ready for the industrial world, and this is where its value skyrockets. Forget 50 cents per pound, we are now talking about a core component for technologies worth thousands, even millions of dollars. The biggest user of lead on the planet by far is the battery industry. Over 80% of all lead gets turned into lead-acid batteries. That's not just the battery that starts your car. These things are the workhorses of energy storage. They provide the power for almost every car, truck, and motorcycle on the road. Beyond that, they're used in uninterruptible power supplies that protect hospitals, data centers, and communications from going dark. They're also a key part of storing energy from solar and wind farms. Inside each battery are plates made of lead and a paste made from lead oxide. Our 1 pound ingot can be turned into these parts. When you sell lead to a battery manufacturer, you're not just selling metal, you're selling the main ingredient for energy security and mobility. The value of our pound of lead is no longer just its weight, it's now tied to the value of a battery that can cost anywhere from $100 to several $1,000s. The material is the same, but the context changes everything. But it doesn't stop there. Lead has another amazing property. It's incredibly dense. This density makes it one of the best materials on Earth for blocking radiation. Our 1 pound ingot can be rolled into thin sheets or used to make lead-lined glass. These materials are absolutely critical in medicine. Think about the heavy apron you wear for a dental x-ray, or the shielded walls in a hospital's radiology department. That's lead, protecting patients and healthcare workers from harmful radiation. In this context, our pound of lead isn't just valuable, it's a life-saving tool. Its worth is measured by its ability to make modern medicine safe. The list of industrial uses goes on, each adding more value. When lead is heated in air, it can form lead oxide, a powder used to make specialized glass and ceramics. It gives high-end camera optics their clarity and was used in the glass that shielded people from X-rays in old CRT TVs. While lead-based paints are now mostly phased out for health reasons, their durability made them a staple for decades. Lead is also a fantastic alloy. Mixed with tin, it creates solder, a cornerstone of the electronics industry for years. It's alloyed with other metals to make them easier to machine or to create protective sheathing for the massive underwater power and data cables that connect our world, protecting them from the salt water. Even in ammunition or as ballast weights in ships, its high density makes it the perfect material for the job. Section 4. The real answer. So let's circle back. What can you really earn with 1 pound of lead? We started with a piece of scrap worth maybe 50 cents. We cleaned it and refined it into a pure ingot. By doing that, we've already increased its value, maybe to around 50 cents a pound on the high end, just by turning it into a clean, ready-to-use material. But when we follow that pound of lead into an industry, its value multiplies again and again. As a component in a life-saving medical shield, as the core of a battery keeping a data center online, or as a protective layer for a subsea cable connecting continents, its worth is no longer measured by the pound. It's now a critical part of a system, a piece of technology, a solution to a huge problem. That initial 50-cent piece of scrap is now the foundation for products and infrastructure worth thousands of times more. The real earning potential of lead isn't in its raw form, but in what we do with it. Conclusion and CTA. So the next time you see a pile of scrap metal or an old car battery, I hope you see it a little differently. Don't just see the end of its life, see the beginning of its next one. This 1 pound piece of lead showed us a journey from being thrown away as worthless to being remade into something essential. It's a powerful reminder that value is often hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to transform it. It's about seeing potential where others just see trash. The world is full of common materials like this with hidden value. What's another everyday material you think has a surprising secret life? Let me know your ideas in the comments below.